And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the third game of the Auzom Premier League Finals. We had two maps in the books. If you just missed the recap from Kemi and Jurasar, we had Alliance taking game number one and a massive finish from Method in game number two. Now, bearing in mind, Method were already in, I think, sixth place before coming into that. Obviously, the points are all accumulated off how they finished in the season, etc. And with a massive 16-kill finish, that's going to help them. I'm joined by WTF Moses. My God, we've actually got a decent plane at last. Finally, we're going to see a fully geared teams facing off against each other, Moses.
Yes, so this plane path a lot easier to deal with for a lot of these teams headed down and easily through the middle from left to right. So now we're going to see, Severny get a little bit of a hot start. Looks like Digital Chaos and Lumbermill both headed that direction. And it looks like TSM is actually going to head back down to the Ferry Pier area, opting not to go to Northern George and not to the eastern side of the map. But again, just holding strong on the Ferry Pier looting strategy.
Now, I wonder why Digital Chaos chose to go and mess with Lumbermill, because they've been going to school and apartments, which is perfectly fine. Decent loot across the area, avoiding Rozok, which is where the Imperial have been. Imperial themselves have looked at it and gone, well, there's no one dropping around here. We're going to take the whole area ourselves. Very interesting to see how they're going to go for that one. Pachinki, of course, standard territory for the boys of Method. It does mean that FaZe and Vitality will also get in early, but there is not enough loot in this town for two teams. Now, we're going to see a couple of them jumping in some UAZs. We may see Lumbermill actually decide to go over towards Stauber and co, because that's where they went in the previous game, not by choice, mind you, more by the plane pathing more than anything. Simsy is going to get picked up, so Digital Chaos swinging in, and looks like they're going to go off instead. So it looks like it's, well, it's very weird. Okay, Trafelli, all right, yeah, go on. Why not? Try and land that shot with the crossbow. Yeah, but okay, this is an awkward split, because DC are kind of like half left, and Lumbermill have kind of half left as well.
Yeah, it's an interesting time here. It looks like DC has essentially conceded the area. Only one man left standing there. It looks like Fausto's going to stay behind as the rest of DC leave. They did get the vehicle advantage. I don't see too many vehicle options left for Lumbermill, but we are going to see that initial circle go all the way north. So a little bit of water involved, but mostly centered around that Stauber area. And we've seen this in the past. This is a tough circle to deal with.
Yeah, there's obviously, if you look towards the Northern Territory, like you're saying, there's just not a lot of compounds there. There's going to be some fierce fighting for them as and when they take them. It's perfectly fine for the boys of FaZe and Vitality and Knights as well. To that extent, they're all going to go North Stauber. And the question is where DC end up, because obviously they're all going to be swinging around the edge of North Stauber, and DC currently heading that way. Fausto himself left all on his lonesome here in Severny. Only two of the members in Severny, though, Trifoli and Kane off the side. There is one down in the shooting range, which is Gustav, and another member actually, oh, he's down at the crossroads. There he is, okay. So he decided to drift away from there. TSM actually, by the way, didn't go North Georgia Pole. Interesting enough, they actually chose to go Ferry Pier this time. So maybe they enjoyed it the last two games. They did visit this area, I think once or twice last night. I think it was once, when the plane was pretty bad and they couldn't make it into Yasnaya. But yeah, they've chose not to go Georgia Ball, and the plane would favor that.
Yeah, I think they've been just changing up their strategy a little bit, seeing how they can maybe get a little bit easier of a transition. Going south to north is a little bit easier in some instances than going north to south. But when you're that far south, we've seen this in the Space Station gaming issue as well, where when you get these northern circles where you have to basically get through a million choke points, you have Pachinki, you have the bridges around Razak, and then you have maybe the open fields of Yasnaya. This transition, unless they get looted very quickly and leave very early, is very difficult to deal with. And even if they do leave early, they're going to be driving through teams that are still looting and have guns to shoot at them. So it's a tough transition coming up for TSM.
The Diamond Dogs winding their ways through the hills, seeing where exactly they can get themselves positioned. Everybody's starting to move early. Speaking of moving early, I don't see Method moving yet. This is they're normally one of the first to get on the move. They're deciding to take a little bit longer on Pachinki and get themselves set up. Looks like Wookie Bookie is going to get the warehouse early for the Lumbermill boys. It is a favored point for many teams. The Imperial already leaving Rozhok and getting themselves up in towards that compound just on the edge of the road there. Mikaz from 1, checking out who exactly is coming past his yellow house. Sadly, no loot for him in there, as always is the case often, I find. So instead, looks like it's kind of things. Is that Zukduknam in the distance? Didn't quite catch who it was.
I did not.
No, I think it was Imperial.
All right, so Zokdinam actually still moving around in that Georgia area. Looks like they are going to get ready to move here relatively quickly. And now we see teams trying to figure out where they want to go. I'm actually interested to know why so many teams avoid that populous compound just at the base of the Stalber Mountain. I'm not sure if it's just a positional issue. That's a very full crate. That's got a lot of stuff in there. 8
items in one crate. That's pretty big. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's got a sniper and an AR suppressor, so it's not ideal. But so
this is
tier 3 hell, tier 3 vest, etc. You're going to be happy with that. Yeah, this compound here. It's probably because it's just so large to defend. You generally end up with 2 probably crashing into you.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to be vacant a lot, even as a looting spot. But regardless, we'll see if anyone chooses to make this place their home. We have a few people in the area. And considering that it is a center compound, that it might be a valuable spot to try and grab Tamil here with the Dacia. Teams might be wanting to set up around this area as well, because this zone, this circle, tends to end in these open fields. And this is a very difficult spot to deal with, as we see Tamil actually spotting an enemy down below him taking some shots. So, yes, this will be a valuable area to try and hold.
Yeah, Imperial just down below. They rotated early. These 2 spots tend to be very popular. Tell Lights Wookie Bookie that's down there. He's actually decided to make another shift. There's another team going to try and blast on by. They're going to go back into the warehouse now. Wookie Bookie gave it up. I think is that Gustav that's up in the warehouse? There is somebody up there. It's Cloudtail. Okay, so Imperial. So okay, so they've decided to switch positions. Zukdetnam realizing that's not going to be the safe territory. They're just going to go crash in this compound that they're passing by now. They'll probably circle back around and have a look at it. Or go to this garage down on the roadside there. So the circle at the moment, it could center anyway. I mean, you can see the center. That compound you were talking about is pretty much the central position, right?
Yeah, it happens a lot where I see that place left untouched. Maybe it's just a defensive issue, or the fact that it's got high ground around it. Not sure. I'm not playing in the game, so I don't have that information. Regardless, I'm actually liking the positioning of Lumbermill here. The shack and the compound below it are both very important to hold if this thing continues to center around this area, which we've seen happen in the past. That was a smooth transition from Pity there, still on the transition, going up to his teammate Cloudtail at their warehouses.
Yeah, looking down south, you got the boys of Penta, Vitality, FaZe all looking to start mobilizing. Rogue already on the way over. Method actually leaving it really late, going straight past Digger. Digger lighting up the car. I've got a feeling he did a lot of damage to Andy's vehicle there as they try and get by. Looks like he got away with it though. Obviously, we're in that open facing trike, so a little late. Okay, so Stab's there and is there. Where's nobody? 80's all the way up there. So Method actually pretty late on the move this time, late on the rotate.
Looks like they're going to maybe try and sneak in around the ruins area. AC's going that direction. So we see Mini Fridge, Zokden Nam moving through, getting to the northern gas station. That's a spot where FaZe likes to post up in these northern circles. Not sure what their game plan is going to be just yet. FaZe having issues on their rotation so far. Likely going to do that northern swing. We haven't seen it start just yet. Vitality's still down in Milta, as is Penta. So now Liquid in a good spot here, just looting away, getting as much as they can out of Yasnaya. They should be well geared for this mid game. Still no downs, no kills here. So this early game, fairly smooth for most of these teams.
Yeah, the Knights going northerly around the hills. Of course, they're well aware the Liquid are in Stalber. So Yasnaya, sorry. So won't want to go too close to that. They're going to sit and just hang around the edge. There's no reason to take these big northerly swings at the moment. Digital Chaos actually still up in Kameshki as well there. I just caught a glimpse. FaZe are now mobilizing. Alliance coming past Vitality. And as I was just about to say, that bridge can sometimes be clustered and contested. We do see Mita. And did he lose a back tire? No, he's just about got away with it. So he's managed to swing it around their Alliance, get past the Penta safely. And Penta, of course, looting around the farm. We're going to be driving alongside them, along with a Vitality. FaZe heading north past Lipovka.
I imagine we'll see that full northern swing here for FaZe, leaving a little bit earlier than, actually a little bit later, I should say, than we've seen them in the past. They might actually come just on the eastern side of Stalber. We've seen that as well, where they just come in on the edge and see what the circle does. Trying to get centered here might be a little bit too dangerous for them. The Knights are there at the base of the hill as well. So we'll see what FaZe manages to get from a positioning standpoint, but we've seen them come in around that Stalber area and kind of stop or try and get around to the gas station. So either way, looks like they should have an easier entry into the zone unless the Knights have something to say about it. But considering the sightlines, they should be okay for now.
Yeah, they need a big result as well tonight. They've obviously had the 9th and 6th place finish so far. Not the usual phase we're used to seeing. Of course, they're still in 5th place overall, based on the fact they had such a great score in the overall season, which did give them 1st place ahead of everyone else by quite a margin. Dingerabs and co getting shot at from the hillside. Everybody's just taking up their positions. Even Rozhok apartments and compounds starting to get occupied now. Vitality choosing to go through the fields of Yasnaya. Are they going to sit in those fields? Yeah, okay. They're going to sit around the little barn and hay bale area. So safe distance. But they will see Skoom, who's about to drive out of Yasnaya.
Skoom on the move right now. Liquid still not having a ton of pressure to leave their area just yet. They're still in the play zone. Skoom is kind of skirting around the apartments right now. But for Liquid, they've moved off to the yellows at the lake area, maybe trying to get some visibility, having been looting for the entire early game. We do see now a few shots trading here as Method taking some looks at FCE in their transition. Andy looking to pick up the first couple of shots here. That shots do land. The Buggy taking a lot of damage, spinning out initially. Andy continuing and will knock. That's one from FC. That's ours going down, and the finish comes out. So that's another pickup there for Method as the initial downs and kills start to happen here in this game number 3.
Bit of revenge there. It was Digger that took shots at Method as they tried to leave Pachinki, if you remember. So working out well for Method. They get themselves in and around there. FaZe looks like they've decided to take the road of Stalber. They're just going to regroup and then edge on round. Now, the question is, where will they go? Because they normally go to where Digital Chaos are sat right now by that crate. That's close to the position. So they could come around and suddenly realize DC are above them. So I'm really interested. And the circle does go to the hills of Stalber as well. And it's Stalber they're going to go towards. Interesting. But everybody else, look at this southern western area. Everybody's got to move the way through.
So maybe Method is going to try and post, Liquid might try and post up as we see Simsy, Digital Chaos, grabbing that nice crate there. Nice loot delivery for Digital Chaos. We'll see where Liquid tries to post up. Looks like they're going to use that natural cover around that base of the hill, but they're now being spotted by Knights. Knights taking the initial shot. I'm not sure if that was at Liquid or maybe a transitioning team a little further away, but FaZe has arrived in Stalber proper, and now it's getting a little bit harder to maneuver for some of these guys trying to transition around in this next phase.
Knight's going to take the compound, but look at the bridge. It's getting very contested. The Imperials taking shots. Vitality trying to come around and set themselves up a vehicle compound of their own. That's about all they can find around there, along with that little shack. They get themselves into the circle. Everybody that was south of the river having to make this really arduous journey because these compounds are at a premium. And they know if they were light on the rotate, they're almost certainly all occupied. So probably very happy to find that shack unoccupied as it is. They're taking shots from looks like the Diamond Dogs up in the distance there, who are taking pot shots at them. Rogue playing the edge circle. TSM way out on the edge. They're going the edge game this time.
Yeah, so TSM opting to play passive as we see the Stalber mounted now with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams all around it. Not something you would normally see. There's a few at the base as well with Zokte Nam FCE arriving. FaZe has got the top secured at Stalber. Alliance trying to sneak through the middle here between FaZe and Liquid below. But the vehicles will be heard by FaZe. We'll see here if Alliance can transition safely. Looks like they're going to find a spot, however, as FaZe getting interested in their position.
The problem is that's just like a couple of wooden shacks, right? That's not really any decent cover down there. They've probably already taken the shots. Yep. You can see Mexi popping a couple off, trying to see what they can do. But Alliance trying to scout out some better area, feeling not quite so safe down there, and certainly wouldn't do. Fever opening run across there. A couple more shots from FaZe ring out. Liquid also taking shots from below as well. Scoom's trying to light him up. Meanwhile, Vitality trading blows down south with Penta. Method are trying to transverse their way across. 8C and Andy at the wheel in his trike, and surprisingly surviving well. As I say that, did they just lose one? No, Andy's okay. Andy's okay. So good.
Chat was worried there for a minute. I could feel it. So it looks like Rogue actually losing one to a vehicle explosion. That's Tamil picking one up, and Rogue's transition is being picked up by Lumber Mill. Oh, and another one down. That is Rogue having a tough transition, as Andy now trying to escape barely with his life on that 3-seater motorcycle, just dodging shots left and right, taking a ton of damage. Things are getting tight here, D-Man.
So I'm interested. Rogue were actually inside the white, and they were on the edge of the circle. They made the decision to try and make the run the gauntlet effectively. If you look at the two members, they're pretty much where they were. But for some reason, they thought, you know what, we can make it. We can get to that hill. Obviously trying to get a central position. I don't think it's worth it at this time. They've got to realize they are way out late. TSM are going to come in, and they're just going to sit on the edge, and that's exactly what I feel Rogue probably should have done in that situation. Of course, we have the benefit of hindsight. It's always easy for us to criticize when we're not in that situation. TSM, they're going to take the shack that FaZe got obliterated in last night.
No doubt. And, you know, that criticism is easy for us, but that's a privilege of being a caster. You can just, you don't actually,
I know, right?
You don't actually have to participate. We can just sit here and judge. But look at all these teams, still 16 alive in this new play zone as we're getting ready to transition. Once again, TSM sticking like glue to the edge of the play zone, just behind Rogue, who are very interested in Lumber Mill just to their east. And now it's going to be a just north of Yasnaya, right dead center on Liquid. So nice spot here for them. That Stalwart Mountain still staying in play, and it looks like that compound we've been chatting about is going to become occupied. That's Ultra and company arriving. Diamond Dogs want to take cover here, and this is the first team actually arriving here this far into the game. That's surprising. Maybe someone in the chat can enlighten me as to why.
Well, I think we'll see actually whether or not it's a good compound, because look at the amount of teams that are left of them that have to come via that route. I'm not convinced. Sims is running the gauntlet at the moment past Andy Pyro, actually going almost directly at Andy Pyro. Here's the guys from the Imperials. They're going to try and make a run past Vitality. Vitality from that Shaka lighting up the vehicle. We're seeing so many cars being exploded in these rotations. They're going for the water.
Oh,
yeah,
it's.
I mean, this is the thing, right? The large lake is there. We should mention there is a large portion of Yasnaya in this circle,
DC
almost
as well.
the entirety of it. So we could take a large swing down into Yasnaya again, like we did last night.
Digital Chaos opting for the totality strat of headed straight to the water. So now that's going to be a situation where they're not going to have an easy time getting out of there, as we see Smack trying to take shots at the transitioning Fuffins in his UAS, taking already a lot of damage. Fuffins very low, but now he's managed to get away. So it looks like they're headed also to the water, and it looks like Fuffins did not make it. Stab taking him out later. So the Mermaids coming out in force.
Yeah, so Rogue down to 1, I guess. I don't know where he is. VZ's also separated, and looks like he's the only surviving member of Alliance. Oh, no, he's got 2 more members down in Yasnaya. Okay, the rest of the team in Yasnaya already. So, interesting. So, teams actually choosing Yasnaya now. The edge, large apartments. Oh, 8C, he's limping towards with no front wheel right in towards TSM. This is not where you want to be. Look at the spread they have. 8C's not going to be able to survive this one, I don't think. NPR is going to light him up. And there goes the vehicle as well. In Hollywood style, he will go down.
Stab was like, nope. He just turned around. So TSM, I'm not sure what the game plan is now for them. They're going to have to come in right on the edge of Lumber Mill now, mounting up in their vehicles. A vehicle push this late into the game is going to be very dangerous. Break in the lead motorcycle. AMPR coming behind with Rari and Smack. We will see how this goes for them. It's not going to be easy. Stab coming in as well. Looks like Smack has been left behind, actually, looking for a vehicle. I'm not sure. Oh, Rory has to come back and grab him. So a bit of a miscomm there for TSM, leaving Smack behind.
Guys, anyone?
So we'll see if they can get in safely here, D-Man.
Oh, NPR is going to be getting on by. Just lost the tire on his vehicle as well. Meanwhile, that compound we were talking about is being pushed. Vitality have posted themselves on the edge. They're going to be the gatekeepers to the water. And Break has managed to dive in himself in there. There's a lot of people heading for this water right now. Now, this is not do or die. Oh, NPR, he's lost his tire again, hasn't he? No, he's just actually diverting back.
Backing on the shack.
is going to go for the shack, and that's actually a good choice. I like that. Vitality up on the coastline. They should have a decent angle on Vitality, and I think they're aware of that. They're already all looking that direction. Digital Chaos, meanwhile, Ewan up close and personal with Liquid, the other side of this rock, very close. Jeems, I think, surely spotted him there. Yeah, he did.
Didn't get the memo on the water. Actually taking Jeems down is Ewan, so Ewan now retreating, but gets taken down in turn, trading with Liquid, as Ewan will be eliminated, and Jeems will get rezzed here. So we'll see what this next circle does. North or south, that is the question. FaZe now leaving Stalber, but that northern end of the play zone, very dense with teams. FCE kind of held out. DC is all over the map, and we see that this is going to land right on the Knights and the remnants of Yasnaya with one in alliance in there, and the water comes out immediately. TSM, they're gonna have to maybe get on with AMPR very quickly here and try and get around Vitality.
Yeah, this has caused a lot of problems though. It's that hillside. There's a lot of high angles that FaZe are going to be able to find. They should be able to transition down the hillside. But the Knights, they were in this compound very early on. Actually, they chose to go here and play on the edge, and this compound has actually paid dividends. The circle's swinging their way. However, this is a very hard to defend position, especially if someone like FaZe does come from that hillside, because it will have clear angles on just about everybody that the Knights have at the moment. You can see Liquid, if they decide to play the end game here, they will find themselves being overrun, I feel, by a lot of the teams that are coming towards them.
Yoki's behind Alliance, can see people moving around, just trying to find any level of defensive position here. He's very far from what remains of his team. Yoki's kind of lost in the woods as we see Zokta and Nam now going at Lumber Mill, and they do have the high ground, so we'll see if they can manage this well. They do have the 249 on their side, does Lumber Mill, so we'll see what Gustav can do here.
Gustav just keeping his moment. He's surrounded by every angle. Aki's trying to get a decent angle as well around the side. Gets around the peak, and that's going to be Gustav going down. Easy in the end. FC Ispo, meanwhile, did get taken down by other members of Digital Chaos. That's obviously in a different position from where he was. He was kind of separated from his team. Speaking of separated, Andy Pyro also separated from his team. Remember, he made that long journey. There's FC Ispo in the distance being picked apart. I think that's the final member, actually. Mice is the last man. It's very much in the open towards Uncharged and Co. And he will go down to his Dingo Rabbits in the end. Brexico is just taking one member of Vitality down. Didn't see where that was. Of course, they are holding the edge of the lake where Vitality kind of were, and TSM also making that push round.
This is going to be a lot of deaths coming out here. I can kind of feel it now. Not a lot of maneuverability here. It looks like TSM putting a lot of pressure onto the reverse end of Vitality, but it was actually Lux getting the kill. So this is now clearing the way for TSM to make it in, but they are going to have to get through Penta, and Suntouch is at the edge of the lake as well. So we'll see if TSM can keep it together in the next team fight. Looks like they're coming right towards Breaksco and Company Meteor Fire there as well. Having taken a little bit of damage, they have the rocks to cover them on the approach, but they do have a full four-man squad ahead of them.
Yeah, and more importantly, Vitality up in the hills, who were just in this exact same position. They're well aware that TSM starting already. Behind them. Wookie Bookie already off there, yeah, and they're already taking fire from Vitality. Now, the problem is Vitality have to worry about Liquid, who are off in the distance. And, of course, if they peek over the hills, they also have the guys from Penta that are trying to take pot shots at them. Meanwhile, look in the middle. Is that Imperial? I think that's Imperial. They're just like wedged in between them somewhere.
Yeah, they're on the lake, actually. They're in the lake.
Down in the lake, yeah. They're down in the water. I can see them down there now, yeah. Smack has been knocked. That's going to be taken down. The nades, this is Penta, actually. The nades are coming through. Nades are being returned fire as well. But unfortunately, that for them, Penta are on the rocks, so they have a lot of decent cover. Very hard to hit by a grenade from that position. DC1 being lobbed straight past him. Smack Rory being lit up. Doesn't get taken down, though.
Vitality is playing absolute spoiler here. They're in the high ground position. Rory finished off. Smack down. Not looking good for TSM here, as they are pinched between the zone, Vitality, and a Penta here. As we see, it looks like
Imperial.
Looks like the Imperial is trying to get up the wall here, trying to find a seam. This might be a savior or another issue for TSM. Break stuck as they are getting picked apart on the edge of the lake. TSM in very, very dire straits here, but still two alive.
Play zone dealing with people now. You can see, meanwhile, Mini Fridge trying to sneak in there. He's going to go down as well. He's going to get dealt with. I think Lux will steal the kill. Yes, he will. Play zone not going to be given that one, it looks like. Up in the hills, Liquid, who were being pushed by the Diamond Dogs, Scoom just getting himself healed up. As Ultra Lux and Calvin Klein look to try and get a little peek. Tommy down in the distance as well. Dingle Rab's actually up the hill. Samty without a helmet now. Having to exchange on these. Look, Zuktuk Nama just split all over the place. They just keep having random members coming through. Samty's on the hunt.
For Liquid, they've had this high ground position for most of the game, and now they're facing a trek back towards Yasnaya. As they're getting fully pushed here, it's Diamond Dog showing up. Scoom goes down, and they're completely swarmed as they're split apart. Santi came to help, and it looks like now they have not been able to find Dingle Raves, and they have spread apart just a little too thin. They will pick up that kill, Santi getting it finally, but they have lost their IGL, and now it's going to be up to Liquid to try and get back together here. But Santi looks to be the last man standing for Liquid all of a sudden, and that's a big problem for them as they actually started Yasnaya and now find themselves facing elimination.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying. If they stay in this position, which they did, they're going to get overrun. There's going to be so many teams coming towards them that sooner or later they're going to lose a member or two. It looks like the Diamond Dogs have dealt with them well. The Knights have pushed down. The circle has gone down into Yasnaya now. And also, I mean, the circle has just shown out phase. Wow, Mexi's just ripping apart the Knights here. They're in all sorts of trouble getting picked apart. Survivor's trying to get himself hidden away, but he gets knocked down as well. And FaZe, this is what I was talking about, the overall position that FaZe had. Because they were coming down from Stauber, they wipe out the Knights, and the Knights just always had the low ground against them. FaZe picking themselves up kills, but look at that open territory. Massive open field in between what's Yasnaya and the hills of Stauber.
We'll see if this thing shifts into that the field just to the north of Stauber. We've seen this in the past. Samty taking a lot of pressure. Looks like Liquid on the verge of elimination here, just trying to met against the blue and having been fully zoned by the Diamond Dogs. Liquid in basically elimination up at this stage unless FaZe can come and help out. Looks like exactly what's going to happen. Hax showing up on scene. Yempty taking down the initial knock. Samty trying to help as well, but he's just trying to race the blue now, D-Man.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to keep on top or not. Calvin Klein's about to get pushed down. He's going to be healing himself up. Tommy's going to get dropped as well. These are all running into FaZe right now. FaZe and Vitality is just picking them apart. FaZe have lost one, though. They've just got a knock there. As they keep running down, Samty goes down to the blue in 8th place. And the circle does shift right down to Yasnaya. Now, One were there. Alliance are there. These guys have been here for around about 3 or 4 circles. And FaZe now have a really hard push to get down into Yasnaya. Look, the shots that are coming out. Alliance, One. They're all staring at the hills because they know everybody's coming down at them.
So FaZe, having cleared out that northern edge of the play zone, do not get the circle. And now they have to deal with Penta, who's moved down into the Yasnaya area, and Vitality having to get off the lake's edge. FCE and Rogue are still in this game. You can see them barely at the edge of the play zone on the south there. So it's Digger and Yannick kind of hanging out. But it looks like this is kind of favoring Penta right now. They do have the most players up. But we'll see what happens with FaZe if they can make this happen. This is a super hard shift for them.
I hope they brought a lot of smokes. That's all I can say. That's the easiest approach. Okay. They've got a lot of UAZs. That's the easiest approach. They have themselves all the vehicles. Now, is that FaZe's vehicle or is that the Knights' vehicles? I wonder, because obviously they've come down on top of the Knights and executed a lot of them, but it looks like they brought themselves a whole tank full of UAZs to be able to get down in that hill, so it should give them a decent approach. Now, Vitality look like they're trying to make their way down, and they're getting picked apart by Penta.
They're going to do a vehicle for here.
Shiv, the last man standing. And here goes. A quick J-turn comes out from Haxetti, and the rest of the boys are bombing in straight in towards Larry.
Nice stop here. I like it. Larry having to back off. This is a great spot for FaZe. They've immediately made a little set of vehicle cover there. They crashed in. This is perfect execution here, actually. Setting up a very nice looking vehicle for it. They have a nice setup. Fuzz is a little bit separated, but he's got the wide angle on that shack. So the vision setup for FaZe is great. Didn't suffer any casualties on the rotate. Larry is there, but he's going to have to go like 4v1 essentially. Vitality now having to face a long run, no vehicles available for them. So FaZe turning something in from nothing here and have set themselves up a nice spot at the edge of the play zone with good cover with only one between them.
Trying to top the nade in. It's coming in, and there goes Larry. Good night. Oh, he won't be happy with that one. Of course, the rest of his team are going to be covering the door, but he will bleed out. There's no way he can do anything here. Shiv, the last man for Vitality, trying to ninja his way in. to the top 5, already being lit up by Penta. Down on the sides there, Copper Magic, Brexico, and Udime Fire. They've already dealt all the damage to the rest of Vitality. Larry bleeding out. Alliance 1, Penta, FaZe, and Vitality. And I can't even see who the last one is. Rogue, you've got Yannick in there
Yannick.
still. Wow.
Yep, he's chilling. Oh, man. FaZe having that nice setup taken away from them very quickly. They will have a bit of an easier way into the next play zone. It's one up in the apartments in front of them with Alliance kind of dealing with maybe the moving now. Penta opting for the vehicle push here. He's going building the building, taking some initial damage. Does Uter and actually going down. So hopefully able to get a res here. The smoke comes out. They should be able to get that res. But this city finish is going to be interesting. Those are big buildings left inside the play zone.
I have no idea how Fuzzface managed to knock him off that bike. I was just looking at the angles thinking, how did that work? Fuzzface himself has been taken down. He tries to make the move in. He will get finished off by the rest of Penta. They're going to be able to revive Udime Fire now, I feel. But I'm gonna call it now, Moses. We're going to be going down to the long break at the start. Luckily, it's not 3 minutes anymore. It's been shortened, so which is what I'm happy about. But with these
they changed the back.
3 large, did they change that one back as well?
Yeah.
Oh man, we're back to 3 minutes. Okay,
let's not talk about it. Let's just skate on past that topic.
Yeah, with these large apartments being involved, the 3 large apartments still in it, chances are we can see a number of teams all within 1 apartment still. Maybe going from room to room. Who knows? There's a couple of smokes going out. Yemty's going to back it around the side. Hacksteady's ready to go. And they're going to try and push it at once. There's no helmet for Yemty. He's just spotted Shiv, I think, did he? Just on a pit of peak. I think Shiv's been dealt with there. He's gone down. Okay, so FaZe going in. Oh, he just hit the wall. That didn't work out. And Yemty goes down in a blaze of glory.
Well, oh my gosh.
Instantly.
Just getting picked apart there. They basically did not have the ability to go as a team, hitting the edge of the wall there. Bit of a misstep. We see Rogue going down. So now it's down to 9 alive. Mixie is still in the game. Alliance is there as well. It's 1 Alliance and Penta with 1 left from FaZe. It's going to be up to Mixie once again. So often the last man standing. A ton of meds available in the next play zone. We'll see what happens with the shift. But for now, it's any man's game, and it's going to be about peeking and handling angles here. And this is a tough spot to deal with.
Penta have the numbers, but this has got to be great for Alliance. They won the chicken dinner in game number 1, and they're already into the top 4. No window there to go through. Skyline's like, what? Trying to pan through nicely through the buildings, but unfortunately not able to go that way. So Mixie, as you mentioned, in that little shack. Alliance. Actually, Mita, does he have Mikaz inside his building? I think he does. I think they're in the same apartment. Yes, they are. Mikaz on the ground floor. Is just outside. Okay, just outside the apartment building. That Mita's on the 3rd floor. And Alliance, of course, have their other member split over here in this 2 red building apartments, which is why Mita's giving him the cover fire effectively. As Brexico is going to try. He tried to hop balcony to balcony and so try and force out Sigsy, but Sigsy's ready with the DP.
That smoke preventing the double peak from being effective. The nade comes down. More nades on the way. Just peppering those nades down the stairwell. We'll see if they're effective. Not so far. As actually he does get 1 as Uter going down. So now this is some nice defense coming from Sigsy, who's apparently got a full backpack filled with nades. And finishes him off.
Now that's with, okay, Copper Magic. They're going to get the revive. So that will leave Alliance in a 2-man position, but Sigsy effectively is in a 3-on-1. But Copper Magic, they're all inside the building at the moment. He has actually got an escape here, Sigsy. If he wants to go out the back of the building, he can get out because his teammate has the cover, right? But now Chronix has gone around. There's another nade tossed down there. How many's he got? A storage up there.
A lot.
Okay, now the smoke's going down. So now he's just trying to give himself some cover and get out of there, maybe. This is not an ideal position. He can hop out the window there, but I think Chronix... See, he's got safety from that wall, so he can hop out the window and get across to his teammate.
So it looks like now it's going to be a up and down battle between Penta, who still have the advantage from a numbers perspective, but it looks like Meter has a really nice visibility here, as does Niels. But we're going to see.
Yeah, getting the support. That's the support, actually, so he doesn't have cover because he's obviously got it eyed up by the one guy. So they've made the move into the next apartment. So Sigsy getting support that he needs. And Penta, unfortunately, who did have the prime advantage of 4 players, now down to 2 if Copper Magic can't be revived. Brexico does get in there, so they've managed to find themselves a position, but Sigsy may well try and pounce on this. Another nade goes down the stairs, not able to quite creep it round the corner, though, as he passes on by. Now Circle squeezes them all in, and I feel we're going to be stuck in this situation for another couple of minutes.
So this is a bit of a stalemate, and this is where things get interesting. We'll see what the game plan is here from Alliance. They do have the highest probability to be closest to the final asterisk here. Mixie's stuck, essentially just chilling. He's got to run through the blue to get out the window, I believe. Can't vault out those little guys, I don't think. But either way, he's going to have a quick sprint to get to where the star will be. But it's going to be difficult for Penta.
Wouldn't it be like, isn't it like 2 or 3 hits, and he's guaranteed to get 2 hits there? If as soon as the circle moves, yeah, it'd be, and he's fully geared, fully topped off, but I don't think it's really going to happen for him. Everybody else is topping themselves up. Six, he's going for it. He's going to get around the side. He's hopped onto the tin roof. Do they realize it? Copper Magic comes around. They think they hear it. Now remember, they're going to be exposed to the other guys, the one boys. Now the circle starts to shift in. It's going in around there. Chronic's above, Sigsy below. Sigsy knows he's there. Drops down behind them. Penta get lit up. Penta get taken down in 4th place. Looking across now. Meter's been dropped. One is also in there. FaZe goes down in 3rd place. And now it is going to be Niels versus Sigsy. The Brits.
Alliance looking for another win here. He's going to get the med off. It is moving slowly, but it is actually in Alliance's favor. The play zone now on top of Niels. Sigsy having to stand up, going for it, trading. And it looks like Alliance is going to take another game. Sigsy finishing him off.
I'm going to say it right now. PUBG Corp, that's fucking amazing. Thank you for finally doing what everybody's been shouting for and having the slow creeping circle instead of like the fast finished star. Beautiful, beautiful. That's what we wanted to see.
That's the one they kept in then. They said they reverted all the other changes, but it looks like the star finish has been left in. So not totally clear there, but I am definitely happy for that as well. And Alliance, for the first time in a long time, 2 wins in a series, playing quite well now with the positioning. Sigsy with 5 kills, 7 total on the team. That's 1 on the back of staying in Yasnaya for most of the game, picking up position number 2. Penta, nice showing from them in position number 3. FaZe again in the number 4 slot, and Rogue again sneakily with 0 kills in the 5th slot.
I think Alliance actually may well be number 1 position now for the game number 3 because they were 4th place already leading into this one. But Penta, yeah, good finish for them. They needed that as well, Penta, because they haven't had a good finish for a while. They were down in 8th place, but they get themselves a decent kill count as well, 11 kills in total. FaZe, we were talking about them. They were in 5th place coming into this game, obviously. Based off their points, obviously they've not had good games so far. They've had a 9th and a 6th place. 4th place is their best finish so far. And of course, the 9 kills to go with it will certainly do their score well. Unfortunately for them, Alliance were above them and will continue that way. So, wow, what a game. We finish in Yasnaya. Not quite as crazy as we'd expected, and actually really like the new circle finishes that they've implemented. I was a little worried that they'd reverted that back as well, but it seems like it's been good. Let's get over to the desk. Who is ready and waiting? It's Cameron, and taking us by, and of course, Jurasar.
Thank you very much, guys. Certainly a very entertaining game.